In Uganda, where power has stayed in one man's hands for nearly 4 decades, one voice has risen from the slums, the stage, and the streets to challenge everything. That voice belongs to Bobi Wine. A former pop star turned opposition leader, Bobi Wine has become the face of resistance, rebellion, and restless youth in a country hungry for change. But before we dive into how he went from hitmaker to headliner in Uganda's political drama, hit that like button, subscribe, and tap the notification bell. Don't worry, Bobi won't tax your data. This is all around Africa. Welcome. Born in the slums of Kamukya, Bobi Wine's story is one of survival. He went from selling street snacks to selling out shows as one of Uganda's biggest music stars. His early music, party anthems. His later music, protest anthems. He studied music, dance, and drama at Makerere University and built his Firebase crew into a full-blown cultural movement. Songs like Kiwani, Ghetto, and Time Bomb weren't just hits, they were warnings. And then, in 2017, Bobi Wine did what no Ugandan pop star had ever done. He ran for parliament, and he won. Landslide, Kyadondo East. That was the moment the musician became the Ghetto president. Bobi didn't just enter politics, he kicked in the door. When President Museveni tried to change the constitution to scrap age limits and extend his rule, Bobi fought back. On the mic, in parliament, on the streets. He launched the People Power movement. Red berets, raised fists, youth energy, and the regime panicked. His concerts were banned, his rallies raided, his supporters arrested, his driver shot dead, and yet the crowds only grew. Then, in 2018, Bobi himself was arrested and allegedly tortured. He was charged with treason, accused of throwing stones at the president's convoy in Arua. His driver, Yasin Kawuma, was killed in what many believe was an assassination attempt gone wrong. Bobi's bruised, broken body became a symbol and a spark. The movement caught fire. In 2020, Bobi Wine announced his biggest move yet. He would run for president against the man who had ruled Uganda since 1986, Yoweri Museveni. It was a campaign like no other. Bobi wore a bulletproof vest. His supporters marched with music, hope, and fear. The military clamped down. Dozens were killed. Bobi was arrested. His house was surrounded. His phones were tapped. His bodyguard was run over and killed. His campaign team was repeatedly jailed. Still, the youth chanted his name. The election came. Museveni was declared the winner. Bobi cried foul. He filed a petition, then withdrew it, saying the courts were rigged. For 11 days, he was held under de facto house arrest, without food, water, or contact with lawyers. The world watched, shocked but silent. After the dust settled, Bobi didn't fade. His party, the National Unity Platform, or NUP, became Uganda's biggest opposition bloc. It wasn't just a campaign anymore, it was a revolution in waiting. Bobi took his fight to the international stage, speaking to the United States Congress, the European Parliament, even filing a complaint with the International Criminal Court. He demanded accountability for torture, disappearances, and election fraud. In 2024, he walked the red carpet at the Oscars for a documentary about his life, Bobi Wine, the People's President. Uganda's government saw a rebel. The world saw a revolutionary. Cameras flashed. And yet, when the lights dimmed, Bobi returned home to armed guards and watchful drones. At home, Bobi lives under constant threat. House arrests, legal cases, treason charges, constant surveillance. His NUP MPs have been jailed, tortured, and even killed under mysterious circumstances. One was found dead in 2025 after weeks of alleged abuse in custody. President Museveni's son, Lieutenant General Muhoozi Kainerugaba, openly threatened him, tweeting that he had, quote, a bullet for Bobi. And Museveni, he calls Bobi my grandson, mocks him in speeches, yet sends soldiers to crush his rallies. Bobi doesn't flinch. Now, Bobby says he's running again in 2026. If he's not in prison, if he's not dead, he knows the risks. He's watched friends vanish. He's buried colleagues. He's been beaten, exiled, humiliated, and still, he rises. Because for him, this isn't just about elections. It's about survival, dignity, freedom. His base is fired up. The youth, the ghetto, the dreamers. And the regime, nervous. The same tactics of fear that worked before don't work like they used to. Not when the world is watching. Bobi Wine isn't just a Ugandan story. He's part of a continental wave young leaders challenging aging regimes across Africa. He's spoken in Senegal, Kenya, Nigeria. He stands with others pushing for democracy, rule of law, and youth empowerment. To many, he represents a new Africa, bold, defiant, determined. He's inspired artists, students, politicians. His music still plays in the streets. His speeches trend online. And his message is clear. Power belongs to the people, not the palace, not the gun. But the question remains, can one man, one voice really bring down a system built on decades of fear? Is Bobi Wine the leader Uganda has been waiting for? Or is the system too deep, too powerful, too rigged for even him to beat? Will 2026 be the year Uganda flips the script? Or will it be another chapter of déjà vu? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you believe in people power, in fearless voices, and in the future of Africa, then share and subscribe to All Around Africa. Because when the music stops, the revolution might just begin.